spiral out of control. The surreal scene in Shanghai, the city on COVID lockdown, police in hazmat suits forcing residents from their own homes to make room for a new quarantine ward. Road rage caught on camera. A driver drove over a woman, then backed over her again after what was a minor traffic accident. Tonight, that driver charged with attempted murder. And celebrating Jackie Robinson, number 42, the man who broke the color barrier, took to the field on this day 75 years ago.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us on this Friday night. I'm Cecilia Veiga, in for David. And as we come on the air with Easter, Passover, and Ramadan all falling this weekend, millions are hitting the road for what is expected to be one of the busiest travel days of the season. But we are going to begin with that war in Ukraine and Russia's new threat for the U.S. It comes after the humiliating loss of its massive warship. Tonight, the Pentagon says it does believe the ship was struck by 2 Ukrainian missiles. And now Russia issuing an official warning to the U.S. stop arming Ukraine with advanced weapons or face, quote, unpredictable consequences. That Russian warship is now at the bottom of the Black Sea, a military and psychological defeat. Russia striking back overnight, shelling a missile factory near Kyiv and threatening new attacks on command centers. That warning about arming Ukraine came after President Biden announced an $800 million package of new military aid. Shipments going out this week from Dover Air Force Base there in Delaware. But Russian forces appear to be close to capturing the strategic city of Mariupol. The Ukrainian commander there making an urgent plea for help. And now with Russia preparing for a major offensive in the east, our James Longman is closer to that fight in the city of Dnipro, and he leads us off tonight.
Tonight, Russia's revenge. Strikes on the outskirts of Kyiv, including on a factory that makes the anti-ship missiles like the ones used to destroy Russia's prized warship. For the first time, the Pentagon has said it believes that 2 Ukrainian Neptune missiles did hit the Moskva, Russia's Black Sea flagship, and they sunk it. Ukraine claims more than 400 sailors, including the captain, were killed. That would make it the most significant naval loss sustained by any country in more than 40 years.
The less weapons the Russian Federation that attacked our country has, the better for us. The less capable they are.
And as the war enters its 51st day, the heaviest fighting in the east. This new video circulating on social media shows Ukrainian and Russian soldiers firing at one another on a road in the Donetsk region. As the U.S. begins delivering the $800 million worth of new weapons to Ukraine, tonight, an ominous new warning. Russia sending a formal diplomatic message to the U.S. and all nations arming the country, demanding they stop sending weapons or risk unpredictable consequences. With so many military setbacks for Russia, this stark assessment from the CIA.
None of us can take lightly the threat posed by a potential resort to tactical nuclear weapons.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also saying the world should be ready for this deadly scenario.
I think all over the world, all the countries have to be warned, because you know that it can be not real information, but it can be the truth. For them, life of the people is nothing.
Russia's withdrawal from areas around the capital means more brutal discoveries every day. More than 900 bodies, mostly civilians, have now been found in the region. And in Bucha's now infamous mass gravesite, 350 alone. War crime investigators have begun their forensic research. And further south, the battle for Mariupol rages. More than a month of endless bombardment has reduced the city to this. But fierce pockets of resistance remain. The commander of Ukrainian Marine Forces, battling to break the siege, issued this urgent plea for help. It can be done, and it must be done as soon as possible, he said. Ukraine says 120,000 residents are still stuck there and possibly thousands dead. But if Russia completes its occupation, the true figure may never be known.
Just so much devastation there. And James Longman is joining us right now from Dnipro, Ukraine. And James, you have been reporting on these accusations of Russian war crimes for so many weeks now, showing us firsthand these horrific scenes. Now Ukraine is asking the U.S. to declare Russia a state sponsor of terrorism.
Yeah, that's right. A U.S. official has now confirmed that President Zelensky did ask President Biden to declare Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. This is all about finding ways to pressure and isolate Russia. And if designated, Russia would join countries like Iran and North Korea on that list. Cecilia?
Would be a significant move. Okay, James, thank you. We're going to turn back here at home now. New York's mayor honoring those transit workers who jumped into action in Tuesday's subway attack. The mayor saying their quick thinking and bravery rushing to get passengers out of harm's way saved lives. And now there are new details of the suspect's moves in the moments after that shooting, where he spent the night and how he managed to hide in plain sight before calling the police on himself. ABC's Janae Norman back on this story once again.
We're hearing from those being hailed heroes tonight. For the first time, the brave New York City transit workers speaking out.
Passengers was coming off the train, falling to the floor, and I was shouting to the people, get on the train, get on the train, get on the train.
Train conductor David Artis describing the tense moments he rushed to get passengers out of the smoke-filled subway car to the safety of another train across the platform. Artis, along with train conductor Raven Haynes, risking their own safety to help evacuate the station.
As soon as you see smoke, the first thought is, I need to make sure that there's no one physically on my platform.
Both would lead first responders to the injured passengers, telling ABC News they tried to stay brave and calm.
It's like natural instincts kicked in, because as long as we are calm, cool, and collected, our passengers can be calm and collected.
Police now say the suspected shooter, Frank James, blended in with those fleeing passengers and getting on that same train leaving the scene. And tonight, police piecing together his movements. Sources telling ABC News the suspect checked into the Chelsea International Hostel on West 20th Street in Manhattan the night of the shooting. The hostel denying James stayed there Tuesday, but adding that he has stayed there in the past. Emerging the next morning and wandering the streets of Lower Manhattan, hiding in plain sight. At 10:30, witnesses spotting him sitting outside a restaurant on Canal Street, appearing to charge his phone. A few hours later, at the famed Katz Deli on the Lower East Side. At 1:42 p.m., James is taken into custody, ending the nearly 30-hour manhunt. The 62-year-old now being held without bail. Federal officials have charged him with carrying out a terrorist attack on a mass transit system. He faces up to life in prison if convicted.
And Cecilia, late today, the NYPD thanking New Yorkers for helping find the suspect. 5 people will split that $50,000 Crime Stoppers reward. And the police commissioner saying tonight the public is who the NYPD serves and are often the department's best partners. Cecilia? Janae, thank you so much. We're going to turn now to these millions who are on the move tonight, the start of a long holiday weekend. Travelers taking to the skies and the roads for Easter and Passover, despite those rising airfares and now renewed concern about the virus. 31 states and territories now seeing an increase in new cases of 10% or more. Here's ABC's transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez.
Tonight, one of spring's busiest travel weekends now underway. Today and Monday are expected to be the busiest travel days nationwide. United alone with more than 400,000 passengers a day. Delta with nearly 500,000.
I think will be one of the busiest Passover Easter weekends we have seen in recent history, perhaps the past 3, 4, even 5 years.
Airfare also up by 40% for domestic flights just since January. This comes after several weekends of mass cancellations blamed on weather and pilot shortages. In fact, the Southwest Airlines Pilots Union writing to the CEO saying pilots are so exhausted, it's the company's #1 safety threat. In a statement, Southwest saying weather and airspace delays led to fatigue in March and that calls from pilots too tired to fly are a result of the system working as designed.
This is the industry certainly paying a price for perhaps underestimating how quickly travel would rebound after COVID.
And now, with the BA.2 subvariant fueling a fresh COVID wave, federal officials this week extending the transportation mask mandate until at least May 3rd. New cases and hospital admissions now up 10% or more in many parts of the country.
Once something becomes dominant, usually about a week or 10 days later, you start getting a pretty good sense of what's happening with hospitalization. Certainly by 2 weeks, I think we'll have a much clearer picture.
And Cecilia, keep in mind, on average, more than 2 million people are already screened at U.S. airports every day. This weekend could really break pandemic records. Cecilia?
We'll be watching those numbers. Okay, Gio, thank you. All those millions traveling this holiday weekend will, of course, be watching the weather. Tonight, a new storm moving into the west as parts of the south are bracing for severe weather. Let's go to ABC's chief meteorologist, Ginger Z. Ginger, check it all out for us.
Cecilia, southern Missouri and northern Arkansas are under severe thunderstorm watches right now. So we have severe weather possible yet tonight along this cold front. It is very windy up in the Great Lakes, as it has been for a day or two. You go west, though, and you see the new storm. Now, the Sierra should pick up to 15 inches of snow. The Bay Area, some rain. They always need that. 5.5 feet of snow fell in parts of Oregon just this week, and they're going to get more. But on Easter Sunday itself, Mobile, Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi have to be on the lookout for severe weather. Cecilia?
All right, I know you'll be watching it, Ginger. Thank you. And late today, the White House announcing plans to open public lands to oil and gas drilling. This is in compliance with an injunction from the Western District of Louisiana and raising the federal royalties that companies pay to drill for the first time in a century. The move ordered by that Louisiana court comes as President Biden tries to bring down gas prices, but it also contradicts his commitment to reducing the use of fossil fuels. Next tonight, Twitter's board of directors with a major counterattack designed to block Elon Musk's $43 billion bid. Members agreeing on a poison pill strategy that could slow or even prevent a corporate takeover like the one Musk proposed. But as ABC's Kaylee Hartung tells us, this is not foolproof.
Tonight, after Elon Musk's bid to take over Twitter, the company's board fighting back with a corporate defense tactic known as a poison pill. If Musk or anyone else acquires 15% or more of the social media platform, Twitter will allow other existing shareholders to buy additional shares at a discount. Just last week, Musk disclosing that he now owns more than 9% of the company, making him one of the largest shareholders.
It puts a blockade up from Musk if he wants to go down the corporate radar route to ultimately limit his ability to build shares.
It's Twitter's latest move to box out the world's wealthiest man. Last week, they offered him a seat on their board. When he found out he wouldn't be allowed to publicly criticize the company, he turned it down.
Twitter has become kind of the de facto town square.
Just hours after announcing his $43 billion offer to buy Twitter on Twitter, Musk appearing at a TED conference, saying his buyout is extremely important to the future of civilization. But he was evasive when asked what he'll do if his offer is rejected.
Is there a plan B? There is.
And Cecilia, Twitter says this plan is similar to other plans adopted by publicly held companies in comparable circumstances. Now, Elon Musk is known to be unpredictable, so it's a wait-and-see game for what his next move will be. Cecilia?
A wait-and-see game. Kaylee, thank you. Overseas now, tensions in Jerusalem erupting at one of the holiest times of the year for Jews, Muslims, and Christians. Palestinians and Israelis clashing at the historic Al-Aqsa Mosque. More than 150 Palestinians hurt. Israeli forces storming the mosque. Tonight, hundreds of people under arrest. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan with the latest.
Tonight, Jerusalem on a knife edge after Israeli security forces stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of Islam's holiest sites, with Muslim worshippers gathered for Friday prayers. Firing tear gas and stun grenades inside the mosque. More than 150 Palestinians were injured and at least 4 Israeli soldiers were wounded. Israeli officials insist they waited until after prayers and release this video, which they say shows Palestinians throwing stones and fireworks below at the Western Wall. The site sacred to both Muslims and Jews, where the Haram al-Sharif and the Temple Mount are located. Clashes here ignited an 11-day war with militants in the Gaza Strip last year. Tensions already extremely high after several recent attacks inside Israel, including a gunman opening fire at a bar in the middle of a bustling street in Tel Aviv, killing 3 Israelis.
And tonight, the holy city is calm, but some fear it is a fragile calm. With the Jewish festival of Passover taking place during the Islamic holy month of Ramadan, as well as Easter celebrations this weekend, the Israeli Prime Minister saying they are preparing for any scenario. Cecilia.
Lama Hassan, thank you. Tonight in Rome, Pope Francis at the Colosseum marking Good Friday. Thousands of pilgrims and tourists were there holding candles. Pope Francis did not mention the Ukraine war by name, but at the end of the service, he prayed that God disarm the hand raised by brother against brother. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Friday. Inside the Shanghai lockdown, the citizens now protesting those harsh restrictions.
Welcome to Allstate, where everyone saves when they bundle their home and auto insurance. Isn't that right, Frank?
I saved 25%. Booyah.
You protected your casa?
Sure did.
And the Frank tank?
You know it.
And now you're relaxing.
I'm working from home.
Sure you are.
All right, I see a lot of head nods. Let's circle back tomorrow.
You aren't kidding. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, you're a target for chronic kidney disease. You can already have it and not know it. If you have chronic kidney disease, your kidney health could depend on what you do today. Farxiga is a pill that works in the kidneys to help slow the progression of chronic kidney disease. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in women and men, and low blood sugar. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may lead to death. A rare, life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis. And don't take it if you are on dialysis. Take aim at chronic kidney disease by talking to your doctor and asking about Farxiga. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Farxiga. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. Hey, wait! Now it's easy to help protect yourself. Identity theft protection starts here at LifeLock.com.
Next tonight, surreal scenes in Shanghai, China. Residents of a high-rise building clashing with police in hazmat suits. Authorities were there to force some residents from their homes so their apartments could be used as temporary quarantine facilities. Shanghai is at the center of China's current COVID surge. The city has been under lockdown for weeks. Hot and dry conditions helping to fuel a deadly wildfire in New Mexico. The McBride fire has already burned more than 6,000 acres, claiming the lives of 2 elderly people trying to evacuate. More than 200 homes damaged or destroyed, and mandatory evacuations remain in effect. When we come back, the horrifying attack captured on camera, a man allegedly trying to run over a woman after a minor traffic accident.
Maybe it's another refill at your favorite diner, or waiting for the 7:12 bus, or Sunday afternoon in the produce aisle. These moments may not seem remarkable, but at Pfizer, protecting the regular routine and every day drives us to reach for exceptional. Working to impact hundreds of millions of lives, young and old. It's what we call the pursuit of normal.
It starts with little things, little things.
At JP Morgan, the only definition of wealth that matters is yours. It can be a smaller house, but a bigger nest egg, a goal to work toward, or the freedom to walk away. With 200 years of experience, personalized advice, and commission-free trades on an award-winning app, we're working for you. Planning, investing, advice. JP Morgan Wealth Management.
We love our Ring alarm. Setup was simple. We've got sensors for motion, doors, and windows. So if anything happens, Ring lets us know. With our Ring alarm, we feel safe and protected.
Learn more at ring.com.
On a day without migraine, my whole body feels free. Because my eyes don't shy from the light, my head doesn't pound, and my stomach isn't nauseous.
It's time for migraine prevention delivered differently through an IV infusion. It's time for Vyepti, a preventive treatment for migraine in adults. Vyepti is designed to start working fast and to last, with a 30-minute IV infusion 4 times a year, delivering 100% of the medication directly into your bloodstream. The power of a Vyepti infusion can help to reduce monthly migraine days. Some had fewer migraine days with the very first treatment. Don't take if allergic to Vyepti. Common side effects are allergic reactions, stuffy nose, and scratchy throat. Allergic reactions include rash, swelling, trouble breathing, hives, and redness of the face. Choose to infuse with migraine prevention delivered differently. Talk to a neurologist or migraine specialist about Vyepti. Learn how you could save.
We believe there's an innovator in all of us. That's why we build technology that makes it possible for every business and every person to come to the table and do more incredible things.
Millions of women have regrown their hair with Viviscal. Our hair growth supplement is 100% drug-free and proven effective in 10 clinical studies. Viviscal, reclaim the hair that makes you fully you.
And to the index now, terrifying new video in the case of a New Jersey man under arrest and charged with attempted murder in a case of road rage. Police say Vincent Jean and a woman were involved in a minor traffic accident. He then began pursuing her after she tried to take pictures of his vehicle. He then drove over her, backed up, and drove over her again. The woman was rushed to the hospital and is in critical condition. And in New York, Broadway is extending its mask mandate until at least the end of May. Theaters went dark at the start of the pandemic, only resuming performances last fall with strict masking and vaccine protocols. Many theaters now ending those vaccine mandates at the end of this month, but those masks must stay on. And it turns out that infamous football Tom Brady used to throw at what was thought to be his last touchdown pass will not be sold after all. $518,000 is what it fetched at auction less than 24 hours after the 7-time Super Bowl champ announced his retirement in January. Well, that retirement, it lasted all of 40 days. The buyer and seller have now agreed to nullify that sale. And when we come back, remembering the great Jackie Robinson 75 years after he broke the color barrier in baseball and changed the world.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide my skin? Not me.
Because Dupixent targets a root cause of eczema, it helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of it.
Hide my skin? Not me.
And for kids ages 6 and up, that means clearer skin and noticeably less itch. With Dupixent, you can change how their skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice.
Hide my skin? Not me.
Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can show more with less eczema. Talk to your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment.
I didn't know you had a band.
It's Dave. I'd love to see you, brother. I know it's been a while.
I got a couple of surprises for you.
We're back. We're back. When the perfectly personalized is out there, why buy boring?
I represent over 4.3 million registered nurses.
67,000 pediatricians.
And we all agree on this. You can trust the COVID vaccine for your kids or your grandkids. I do.
Life doesn't stop for diabetes. Be ready for every moment with Glucerna. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand that's scientifically designed to help manage your blood sugar. Live every moment. Glucerna.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Women are living longer than ever before with Kisqali when taken with an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant in postmenopausal women or in men with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus an aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
She was kidnapped, held captive.
I thought it was the end of my life.
It was Gone Girl. And just when you thought this true crime couldn't get any more shocking,
All of a sudden, boom. All I wanted was to feel safe.
2020 tonight on ABC. Take America's #1 news with you anywhere you go, anytime, free. Download the ABC News app now. Breaking news, exclusives, 24/7. There for you with one touch. The ABC News app. Download it now.
Finally tonight, baseball stadiums across the country are honoring the great Jackie Robinson. 75 years ago today, the Dodgers first baseman put on that uniform with a number 43, changing baseball and history. Today in stadium after stadium, a tribute for the number 42. It was 75 years ago today, April 15th, 1947, Ebbets Field in Flatbush, Brooklyn. A young Jackie Robinson on the field with the Brooklyn Dodgers, the first African-American to play in a major league game. He would go on to win Rookie of the Year, beginning an electrifying Hall of Fame career. Today, tributes from all over the country. At New York City Field, where the rotunda is named after him, this statue, 9 feet tall, towers with Robinson's retired number. Every player wearing 42, Robinson's granddaughter right there too.
The granddaughter of Jack Roosevelt Robinson, Sonia Pankey.
And in Times Square at 42nd and Broadway, today it's Jackie Robinson Way. Former players and managers honoring his legacy.
He went through things that I can't imagine what he's gone through.
He'd light up a room. He stood for more than baseball.
He didn't just break the color barrier on the field. He was a leader in the civil rights movement. Jackie's son David remembering when they attended the March on Washington.
He was a man of few words, but a man of action, responsibility.
And tonight, his granddaughter vowing to continue his legacy.
Carrying his legacy forward is the most important job that we have as grandchildren, to ensure that the next generation understand the commitment, the sacrifice he made to social change.
Oh, what an amazing legacy it is. Thanks for watching. I'm Cecilia Veiga. Have a great weekend.
You could be anything you